Hello guys, and welcome to a course on Adobe Illustrator. So this is basically a short course for you guys, and I'm gonna show you how you can make some designs, more specifically t-shirt designs on Adobe Photoshop. But that aside, firstly I'm going to introduce you to all the basic functions on Adobe Illustrator. Alright, so here this is the interface. Once you get to Illustrator, you can see here these are all the basic functions here. If you go take a look here, there are three interfaces here: properties, layers, and libraries. All right, so if you take a look at here in the far right, upper right, you can see here this is called switch workplace. So if you click on there, you can see here you'll see much more options here that you can actually get. So if I click on typography, you can see that the interface has changed drastically, right? And then if I give it like layout, it will just change as well. All right, and then if I go back to essentials, it'll just go back to how it was earlier. All right, so this is basically how it's doing. And if we go to the far left corner, you can see here right beneath the logo, you can see there are two dots here, right? So what do these two dots do actually? If we click on these two dots here, you can see here this row turns into two rows. All right, so that is the function of these two dots. So I find it really interesting. So if I keep it like this, all of these are combusted just like that together. All right, now, so in our left section, you can see here we have our properties, we have our layers, and we have the libraries. All right, so we have all of these here. It's really handy. All right, so but there are a few panels that are not here that I want. So how am I gonna get those? You can get those very easily. If you go to this upper ribbons right here, you can find the window ribbon right here. You can see here this is the window ribbon, and if I click on the window ribbon, you can see here there are all of these options right here. So all of these options are in the window, and you can get them from here. All right, so these are all the options. You can see here all of them are combusted one by one with each other. So that is actually how you're gonna get all of these options. You can see here. So I want to get one of these options, few of these options right here. So how am I gonna do that? So for instance, if I want to get this appearance options right here, so to get one of these, you can just go to, say, let's say if I want appearance, if I just click on appearance, you can see here there's this box here that comes up. Very useful. You can just hover it around anywhere you want, just keep it there. And then for instance, if I want let's say artboards, I can do that. And then also if I want to bring in, let's say color, so let's find color. Where is color? So color is here, you can see here. So I've got color as well. Okay, so very useful. You can bring in any option you want. You can just hover them around here. All right, just cancel that one. And that is how you actually get more panels over here, and that is very useful, right? So if you want more panels, you can just get, let's get it swatches here. You can see here swatches, and now we can just align them however we want. We can just align them just like that to our own advantage, to just keep all of these panels in check. All right, so right now we can see here we have swatches. So in order to get swatches, we're gonna need brushes and symbols as well. All right, so these are like the cousins and brothers of these effects. All right, these panels. And if we don't want these symbols, we can just right click it and then just close, then it will just close. All right, same thing goes with the brushes. If we don't want it, then we can just right click and click on close, and it will just close up. All right, so that is actually how you bring up new panels and more options from here. Okay, once you select, will be selected like this. You can see here. So for instance, if we don't want this color guide, we can just close it and it will just go away. Also for this asset, this one, we can just click it and it will go away. If we just click on this one and close, it will just disappear just like that. All right, so same thing goes for this one. Just close it, it will go away just like that. All right. So now if you look closely, these color and swatches, they go hand together, right? They're pretty similar. So if I just take it here and just drag it over here, you can see that it gets merged together, right? So now the color and swatches, they are together, so they're in the same window, so I can just use both of them from the same window. All right, just hover them around and then just keep it there just like that. All right. So there are like a lot of things that you can do as well. So if I, for instance, go ahead and right click, you can see here there are a lot of more options here. All right, so now if I want this to get minimized, I can just simply click on minimized. You can see that it's minimized. So if I double click it again, it will just come up again. All right, and then if I also give this order right here, you can see here it says collapse to icons. So if I do that, it gets minimized to like so little. You can see here it gets much less space now. All right, so just to click on this double dot, you can see here it will get maximized again. All right, so that's the function. It's really useful. All right, so to just minimize it, you can just do that, then maximize it again to do that. All right, so for instance, you cut off some of the panels that you accidentally, let's say you accidentally or intentionally cut off all of those panels. What you can do here is you can just simply go back to Windows, and then you can just go and select the appearance and it'll just come back on its own. All right, so basically what we did is just we went here and then just got back the appearance. So if I want the art book back again, artboards, it will come back as well. All right, so just simply go to Windows and you will find all of these options and you can just bring them back. And if you don't want them back, then you can just cut off all of these. Just click on the crosses and they'll just go away. All right. Okay, so now that we've understood all of these panels, I'm just gonna cut this off. Now we're gonna go to this panel right here in the far left. You can see here I previously showed you, if I click on this 2 dot, it will get all of this will get like this, and if I click back, it will get like this again. All right, so these are basically all the tools that you're going to need to edit or do whatever you want to do on Illustrator. And these, you can consider these as a small toolbox that your tools are placed at, and you can just use these tools. All right, so these are basically, all of these are tools that you can actually use. So for instance, if you want to hammer something, you're going to use the hammer, right? So you're going to take the hammer, and then if you need the screwdriver, you're just going to put down the hammer again and then use the screwdriver. All right, so that's basically how this section works. All right, so you can just use any type of tool that you want. You can just keep that tool there and then just select another tool, and then you can use that. All right, so basically each of these panels, they are a bunch of tools that you can use. So they all have their own purposes for you to use. All right, so you're going to use one of them. Once you're done, you're going to keep them there and then just use another one again. All right, so if you notice, once I keep my cursor, take my cursor there, you can see here it says that this is the selection tool, and here it has a letter here that has here, and if I go to here, it also has a letter beside its name as well. Okay, so every single one of these tools, they have individual letters next to them. So these are basically the shortcut keys that you can use to summon these tools. Those are shortcut keys that you can use. So this one is the eraser tool, is Shift plus E. So if you press Shift plus E, it will select the eraser tool, and then if you use the V, if you press the V button, then you'll get the selection tool. Okay, so same goes for this one, the brush or eyedropper tool. If you press I, then the eyedropper tool comes up. You can just select it like that. All right, So for instance, this one is V. So if I just go ahead, right now nothing is selected. So if I just click on V, you can see here that this is selected, right? And this one is A. So now if I press A, they will select this tool right here. And then if I, let's say eraser tool is Shift plus E. So if I press Shift plus E, it will select this one. Now you can see that the eraser tool has been selected. Now I can erase it. If anything was here, I could have erased it. Alright, so for instance, this brush tool. Now if I brush it, and now if I just, for instance, just click Shift plus E, the eraser tool has been selected, and now I can erase this whatever I've drawn here. Okay, now you can see here it's erasing just like that. So I can do that. Alright, so what you can do here is you can actually just go ahead and memorize all of these stuff, so it makes it much more easier for you to remember all of these tools. So it'll make your life much more easier. If you're a graphics designer or an Illustrator designer, it will make it much more easier for you to select all of these tools. All right, so another important panel here is the properties panel, which is very important. This will come up in a lot of interfaces in the future once you're working. All right, so this property panel is very important, okay, very essential for your working on Illustrator. So properties panel is very important. Like if you see here, these are all showing here whatever you're using right now. Okay, so transform, if I want to transform this, I can just do this. All right, so then appearance, this is the stroke, how many stroke I am using. I can see that, how much opacity I'm using as well. Also the effects here, you can see here, if I want to add any effects, then I can just do it from here directly. All right, so quick add-ons as well. If I select this one, you can see that the appearance module comes up. All right, so this is the appearance module. Just simply do that, and then just you select anything that you want to. So for instance, if I take this panel right here, and if I drag it right here, you can see here it gets a bit blue, which indicates that it is a layer where the layer is going to appear. So if I, for instance, just take this appearance and drag it here, so it turns blue, and if I let it go, you can see here that another tab opens up as appearance. So it is merged to all of these properties, layers, and all of these. Okay, so if I want to close it, just right click and choose close, and it will just close away. All right, so that is the properties section. So properties are very important, so it shows you whatever you're doing right now. So I don't have much right now, that's why it's not selected. So a lot of options are not selected right now, so I can't show you it right now. Right, so now you can see that I have this picture that I just imported from my computer. So if I go and click on selection tool, and then I select this picture, if you notice that my properties has changed a lot. Okay, so the transform is 960, and then the width is, let's say, 216, and all of these are changing. All right, so these properties, these elements, they change with your resources. Okay, whatever you have, they change with that. Okay, so if I just deselect it, now you can see that it's back to normal, and if I select it back, you can see here it changes back. Right, so now we have our layers panel. If I go to layers panel, you can see here we have one layer. So if I for instance, if I press on this I button, you can see here it disappears. Okay, so this is the layer. All right, so if I press it back again or lock it, if I press here, it will get locked. All right, so I'll just remove that, and then you can see here it's back again. So if I had multiple images, multiple layers would have been showed here, and since it's just one picture here, it's just showing one layer. All right, so if I want it gone, I can just turn off the visibility, and then if I want it back, I can just get it back again. All right, so select it. You can see here this blue dot, it appears once I select it. If I deselect it, it just goes away. Just notice again, if I just select it, it just glows up like that, and if I deselect it, it just goes away again. All right, so that is the layers options. All right, So now that we've understood the layers, for instance, if you want to zoom into your picture, how are you going to zoom in? Then basically you can just go, if you take a look at here, there's this number here, it says 45%, right? So you can actually use that to zoom in. Just click here, and then if you just click on this, you can see here how much it has been zoomed in. All right, so you can also use like control plus plus or control minus to zoom out, and control plus to zoom in as well. So the keyboard shortcut is much more easier. If you do that, then just use that keyboard. Okay, so control plus to zoom in and control minus to zoom out. All right, okay. So another option is here. You can see here that at the down here it says selection tool, right? So in selection tool, what you can do here is, this is basically, they show you in which tool you are on currently. Okay, so for instance, if I select selection tool like this, so show which current tool am I on. Okay, so that is basically selection tool. So basically if I just select this one or this one, you can see here it says here direct selection, and then if I click on here it says pen. So if you, for instance, forget wherever you're on, you can just look down and see that you're okay. I'm at the pen section right now. I've selected the pen tool and I'm working on with the pen tool. All right, so that is basically the selection tool. And if you're not selecting anything else, just you can see here it says selection, or if you select this one, direct selection, then paintbrush. So it changes like that. All right, so beside the selection part, you can see here there's one other thing right here, which is called the artboard. All right, so artboard navigation. So I currently have one artboard, that's why it's showing one artboard. All right, so if I had multiple artboards, it would have shown multiple artboards. All right, so that is the artboard navigation. So if I selected this one, you can see that it's showing only one. So those were our basic tools for Illustrator, and in this lesson I'm just going to end this lesson right now. Okay, so those are the basic tools, so how you can use Illustrator, and I will see you in the next lesson. All right guys.